So I just did a bar class because I had nothing else to do this morning. I got an email in the middle of the night. It was like, you got into class. And I wasn't going to go because I was like, that's ridiculous. And then I was awake and well rested and only my knee hurt. So I thought, what the hell? I still want abs. So I got to work towards that new goal. I think that'd be really cool. I've always not really liked my body. So if the rapid weight loss that's come from this nightmare life can be turned into something positive where I can like what I see in the mirror, I'm gonna do that. Class was good. I'm gonna go have brunch with some people today. That'll be interesting because they're actually the people I texted the other day when I said, "Are you team?" I just kind of called it out and I was like, "You don't like my Instagram stuff anymore, and you haven't texted me to see how I'm doing. So am I to assume you've chosen her?" And now all of a sudden I get a lot of texts, and they texted me this morning. We're like, "Hey, do you want to do brunch?" And it's like, sure, yeah, let's go have brunch and see what that's like. So I can't tell if it's going to be awkward or, you know, if she becomes a taboo subject. Like, they work together, so I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to go try a new place for brunch and just try and feel normal for a little while. So it's strange when you see couples and know couples that have a relationship dynamic that's seems to be less good than yours, yet they still go on. You know, they've been together for a long time, they will continue to be together for a long time, and yours is the one that's broken, that failed. It doesn't really seem fair. And I keep being reminded of that over and over again. You just see these people where you're like, how do you work? How do you manage to do that thing that you do? I don't know. Maybe that'll get easier in time. Maybe if I ever meet somebody else, that will be less important. But I guess I'm all about comparison right now, and when I compare it, that doesn't make any sense either. It all just seems unfair. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about right now. So yeah. Today was an interesting day. I feel like it happened in 3 chapters. I got up and went to the gym. Well, let me step back. I woke up at 4:30 after having a nightmare where she told me that she is pregnant with his baby. That's how my day started today. My brain really seems to be torturing me on this one. At least every other night I have some kind of dream. Not usually a nightmare like that, but it's typically a dream where the two of us are together doing something simple. You know, it could be grocery shopping or watching TV, just a simple kind of everyday life thing we would have done. And then I wake up a little and realize we are not together, and I get really sad. So the pregnant with his baby thing, that's a new level of, yeah, that's a new level. It was just like, damn it, brain, why are you doing this? And then chapter 1, I had brunch with some people at kind of a hipstery place downtown. Yeah, that went well. Conversation never circled around to my problems. You know, there were some strong personalities at the table, so I sort of fell to the background. And I think my thoughts are twofold. One, maybe that's okay, because I don't need to be the center of every conversation. But also, it would have been nice if somebody had asked. If you're going through what's probably the most traumatic thing you've ever gone through, it'd be nice if people were like, how are you doing? Chapter 2, I hung out with some people I've never hung out with before in a social setting, and we went drone flying at a park sort of north of Mission Bay. And that was interesting. He has the newer version of my drone, which in subtle ways is better. Not enough for me to be like, ooh, want, but it was cool to see. We flew around. The weather wasn't awesome. The light wasn't incredible, but it was cool to sort of hang out and get to know someone new. And then chapter 3 was the most interesting one. When I got home from that drone event, I took the dog out for a walk, and my running partner texted me and was like, hey, are you around? Which she never does. So I said, yeah, I'm out with the dog. And she said that she was walking down my street with her dog, and I want to go for a walk. That was awesome. Yeah, I don't, that feels like a small town neighborhood thing. Like, oh, I just saw you in the street and thought you want to walk. Like, She was in the neighborhood. She texted me. I was there. It was perfect. We met up and walked a little bit, and then she said that her boyfriend was gone for much of the evening. So I was like, do you want to get dinner? And she did. So we went to a dog-friendly place, and we hung out with her new puppy and had lasagna and had a really good conversation about this situation. Like, I had complained a little bit about being disappointed that certain people hadn't reached out or hadn't said anything, and feeling like ever since this nightmare started, they've just shut me out, or they've chosen her over me, and that was disappointing. She offered a differing perspective in terms of, maybe people feel uncomfortable, or they don't want to be intrusive, which I understand. Given my perspective, all I want is for people to make an effort to reach out and just to say, hey, how are you? Like, that would be so meaningful. When I've reached out to people and they're like, oh, I wanted to get in touch, but blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not as good. Like I appreciate that they said that, but if somebody would act on their own volition, that would mean more. And we talked about the nature of the fact that she, for instance, is both longtime friend and my longtime friend. If she's definitely friend more because they went through school together and have been through more stuff, but that doesn't disregard the fact that she's also been my friend for a long time, and we've run together for a long time. So I talked about the fact that there's definitely certain elements at play, such as I know that she sees, I know that she listens to talk about her new boyfriend in really favorable ways. I know that she knows things about that I don't know. And all of those things hurt a little bit. That pain is worth still being friends with her. I can't imagine not being friends with her because of those reasons. And I guess maybe not everybody shares that perspective, that, people are much more quick to divide line, to draw a line in the sand and just say, all right, yours, mine. But I guess if I'm going to be honest, I don't have a whole lot of friends that weren't mutual friends. We moved to a new city as a couple, and we met people as a couple, and she is certainly a much stronger and much more socially adept person than I am. So everyone wants to be friends with her. I'm a slower burn. I know that about myself, and that's cool. I know I'm a really good friend once you get to know me, but it's not always quick. I don't walk into a room and turn heads. That's just not my strength, and that's okay. If I were to cut out everyone that was both her friend and my friend, there wouldn't be too many people left. And I didn't want my running partner to feel at all devalued, because I really, really value her. I value the time we spend together, and I value how steadfast she's been through this whole nightmare. She's been really good to me and a really important part of my life. I enjoyed that conversation. It wasn't a woe is me conversation. It was more the nuts and bolts of what a breakup looks like and how it functions. Not necessarily a meta level conversation, but her perspective on why people might think what they think versus my perspective on why people might think what they think. After that, I walked her home because it's dark, and the thought of her walking through a couple of sketchy streets isn't cool with me. So I walked her home, then I walked back here, and that's pretty much where I met. I had a lot of plans to get a lot more done today, and I didn't. And a little part of me feels a little guilty for that, but for the most part, I was around people all day. Nothing happened that knocked me down to a low low. So I'm going to mark that up as a victory. I hope you had a good day. I hope things that were, I don't know. I just hope you're doing okay. I'll see you later.